I've seen so many instances where I'm cutting somebody and they'll say, well, man, I haven't seen my father in 3 or 4 months. And I'm like, wow, 3 or 4 months? What state does your father live in? Oh, no, he just lives 15 miles down the road. To me, that's disturbing. And a lot of us, I think that if we would have had our fathers there, I mean, we could have became better men, you know, and that would have helped us become better fathers.
I really didn't have a lot of male positive influence. I mean, I met you in my teens, and you were probably one of the strongest males that I've learned from, you know. Even though I didn't have a father growing up, I had a strong mom, and I knew that I wanted to be a great father when I had a son.
Right.
He's my world.
Yeah.
He's everything I see in myself that I could have been if I had a father.
I didn't know my dad till I turned 28, about 9 years ago, 8 years ago.
When you say you didn't know him, what is...
I never met him before. He sent some letters before, but that was about it.
Shamir, I know that your father has passed on, but if you could say something to him today.
I would ask him if I'm all right, if I did all right thus far, if I'm adequate, am I okay? Did I mess up? Did I disappoint him? Am I where I should be or not? You know what I'm saying? Or what do you think? What did he want for me? I have no direction, no idea. I don't know where I came from because I don't know him.
I always had a place to go to. I could have gone and lived with my dad. I would have been living in the garage of his one-bedroom apartment. They really didn't have any electricity or anything to it, but he would give me the shirt off his back.
My father was a carpet layer. Man, he worked me hard, he did a lot of things, but what he wasn't the type of father who would teach me how to do this or that. You know, he was an angry man. You see what I'm saying? And so often we teach each other out of anger.
I come from an area where segregation was happening. My parents was dealing with racism at the same time, trying to raise 3 kids. Well, I had a father, but my father didn't like hug me, tell me everything was cool, you know, and so forth. He couldn't tell you how to make it in this world.
The way I got treated or didn't get treated, my father wasn't there. I never wanted my kids to go through that. So every way that I remember feeling in a negative fashion when I was growing up, I made my kids, I parented in a fashion that they wouldn't feel those things.
I mean, I'm not here to try to browbeat every dad in this world, but if you can see the connection in this room, if you can see that it's so many of us, even if our father was in the house, he still seemed like he was down the street. You know what I'm saying? Because he was dealing with his own stuff, right?
How am I gonna raise a child if I wasn't fathered? How could I be a father if I've never experienced that? So it takes men like him as an example. I think that as a society, we gotta help each other, we gotta help other children, we gotta stop turning blind eyes to things, we gotta stop letting other kids be bad around us and act like it's appropriate.
And I think that it's conversations like this that'll help us as men get out of our own way. You know, Dave right here is bridging the gaps.
That's what I would call a role model.
Yes.
That's a role model right there. That.
At some point in every one of our lives, we wanted to sit right there where little Dave is sitting, right? We wanted to be little Dave. And guess what? We know that you care if he eats, you care if he's warm, if the rain is gonna fall on his head.
Doc is the mainstay for a lot of young cats around here, the only mainstay. You know what I'm saying? They know they're gonna see him every 10 to 14 days. We gonna see Doc. That might be the only black man that they could count on seeing. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can't take our responsibilities lightly, and we
guess
have
what?
to be an ambassador all
Look
the
here,
time. You know
watch me, brother. As long as I can breathe. Hey, tell me I can stand on this mat, I'm gonna do just that.
All right, and it's necessary. We
Yes,
need
sir.
you. You know what I'm saying? We, as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Young folks, in general, we all need you.
49er fan.
I love you, girl.